Fortunately, it was warm inside the cave. Was it just the Earth's heat? Or was there an underground hot spring nearby?
I know I saw a shadow back there.
You sure it was even a person? I mean, maybe it was something else.
No way! I saw what I saw. Although, I was thinking... Hey, Kyon, do you really think that Mr. Yutaka killed Mr. Keiichi?
What are you getting at?
Well, I've just been thinking about everything. According to what Miss Mori said a little while ago, Mr. Yutaka left the island around 1 in the morning. When we found Mr. Keiichi's body, I touched him. He was still warm. You see what I'm getting at? His body was still warm. That means Mr. Keiichi was killed right before we found his body.
So what does that mean? Mr. Yutaka left the mansion at night in the middle of a typhoon, hid till morning, then stabbed Mr. Keiichi before splitting the island?
But I don't think that's how it happened. Look, even if Mr. Keiichi was killed an hour before we found him, that means someone should have seen or heard something. Remember, we were all awake and wandering around the place. Someone should have heard something. A sound, a scream.
Don't you think that's strange? I mean, you really think that Mr. Keiichi stayed alive for hours on end and managed to lock himself in his room after being stabbed? Think about it. If Mr. Yutaka wasn't the murderer, then why'd he run away?
Wait! I got it! Now I've got it. I know what happened in there. Are you even listening to me?
Yeah. Come on then. Let's hear it.
I'm sure Mr. Yutaka's the one who stabbed Mr. Keiichi. Like you said, why else would he run away unless he was the guy that did it?
Yeah, that's true.
So Mr. Yutaka stabbed Mr. Keiichi, we know that. But how did it happen? I'm pretty sure it was an accident. They were arguing. Mr. Yutaka lost his temper, picked up the fruit knife, started waving it around, and bam! But the knife didn't go all the way through to Mr. Keiichi's heart. The notebook stopped the knife. It was stuck in him, but it wasn't fatal. Here's where it gets complicated. Mr. Keiichi went into shock and passed out right there on the spot. When that happened, Mr. Yutaka thought he'd killed his brother and ran. Now comes the tricky part. Mr. Keiichi, who wasn't dead, stayed unconscious throughout the night and came to the next morning.
Wait a minute. You honestly think it all went down that smoothly?
What are you gonna do? That's the way it happened. Unless you've got a better idea.
I'm sure that Mr. Yutaka would know if he really killed his brother or not. Besides, when we got to him, Mr. Keiichi was lying face up. If everything happened the way you said, we would have found Mr. Keiichi lying face down, not face up.
Well, that's true, but... No. No, wait! If that's how it really happened, then...
Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I guess I wasn't thinking straight there for a second.
Hey! Can you hear me? You guys okay?
It looks like Haruhi's deduction has completely crumbled. But if that's the case, what really happened? Mr. Yutaka wasn't on the island when Mr. Keiichi died, which means that somebody else is the murderer here.
Which one should I eat?
Hey!
Kyon, you scared me! Stop it!
Stealing food, eh?
But I was hungry. You're mean.
I'm sorry about that. I'll bring something up to your room right away.
Hey, no fair. Someone got to eat their food before anyone else.
Yes, it was Mr. Arakawa. He hasn't had a thing to eat since this morning, so I delivered his meal ahead of everyone else.
You always find a way to embarrass me, don't you? Huh?
Is something wrong?
Yuki, it's me! Open the door!
I was told to not open the door for anyone.
But it's okay now! Open up!
Then I would be opening the door for someone. I was told not to open it for anyone.
I take it Miss Asahina's still unconscious in there.
I'd assume she is, otherwise we'd hear her.
Yuki, when I said anyone, I meant anyone who isn't a member of the SOS Brigade. I mean, we're all members, right?
That is not what I was told. I was given an order to lock this door, and under no circumstances was I to open it for anyone.
But Yuki, you didn't say anything when I left the room a little while ago.
My orders did not specify the door being opened from inside this room.
Hey, Nagato. As of right now, Haruhi's order has been retracted. If you want, I'll just give you a new order. Look, my sister's out here. Please open the door.
Jeez, you don't have to be so literal all the time.
maybe that was Nagato's way of playing a joke on us. Come on, Nagato. No expression, not even a blush? Your face never changes. You can't be serious all the time, can you?
Thanks, Yuki.
What do you think we should do now? Do you want to keep trying to find the answers to this mystery?
Not anymore. I guess I'm not the great detective I thought I was. Oh well, we'll let the police handle this one.
I see. So that's what you were talking about in the cave.
But something's strange. If she really wanted to play the detective so much, why did she just suddenly drop the whole thing like that?
I think I can understand that. Or at least where she's coming from. Would you like to hear my theory about it?
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Up to a certain point, Miss Suzumiya's deductions are correct, but the last part of the mystery is where she got it wrong. Mr. Keiichi was stabbed by Mr. Yutaka. However, he didn't die right away. Mr. Yutaka thought he killed him, so he fled. That's all correct. But Mr. Keiichi came to because of our knocking and shouts, and just before we tried opening the door, he staggered over, dazed, and locked it. And then... that was the moment the knife was pushed through the notebook and into Mr. Keiichi's body.
In other words, he was really killed.
By the people who rammed the door in. Basically, it was me, and it was you, and it was also Mr. Arakawa. I'm positive Miss Suzumiya figured all that out, and that's why she didn't say anything. She was protecting us. That's why she decided to keep the truth of this case to herself.
Your theory does make a lot of sense. But it's unfortunate you had to figure out the truth. All I have to do is keep you quiet, and this whole thing goes away. No one will ever know. Isn't that right?